Okay, for the next set of notes, we're on page 3.8 in your notebook, and we are working on algebraic proportions, which we've kind of done already a little bit, but we're going to do them in more detail today. And let's go through the steps to solve. So there's an added step with algebraic proportions. Because you have two things that look like fractions, you're going to do cross multiplication. And that is the big add-on here. You can do your cross multiplication. So if you have A over B equals C over D, that means that you can multiply A times D and have it equal B times C. So that's what a cross product is. We've done them for a little while now. And then when you're done with that, now you can go to that, what we've been doing before, which is all those simplify steps, which is distribute, combine like terms, right? Variables on both sides, check all that stuff. And then you're down to the point where you can just solve the equation by locating it, undoing addition, subtraction, undoing multiplication, division. So this is an equal sign. This is an old-fashioned one you've seen a million times, right? We're going to do 3 times x equals 4 times 6. You get 3x equals 24. To solve, you're going to divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 8. That's one you're familiar with. This one may be a little bit harder, and what you really have to make sure that you remember is that this n plus 5 is something that needs to be multiplied by whatever, the whole thing needs to get multiplied. So when we do our cross product, we're going to take this and have it be 2 times n plus 5, that's where those parentheses come in, times 4 times 10. And then you're going to get 2n plus 10, when you get rid of the parentheses, equals 40. And now you can solve n's over here. You're going to subtract 10 from both sides. 2n equals 30. Now you're going to divide both sides by 2. N equals 30 divided by 2, which is 15. Okay, let's look at the next one. Similar to the one before it, when you see this, an expression in the numerator denominator, put parentheses around it to remind yourself that you need to multiply everything by whatever you're multiplying it by. So 2 times y equals, and then over here it's going to be 5 times y minus 3 in parentheses. On the left I can't do anything, but on the right I've got to do my distributive property. 5y, 5 times minus 3 is minus 15, and now I can look at this and say, oops, I have variables on both sides. I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides. When I do this, this becomes 0 equals 3y minus 15. So I'm going to write it up here because I'm out of room. I'm going to add 15 to both sides. To get it off of this side with the y, I get 15 equals 3y. I can divide both sides by 3, and then that's a 1, so I get 5 is equal to y. Over here, again, parentheses, make sure you put those in there. And now when I do my cross product, when I do this one, I get 5 times 2k minus 3 equals, now I'll do this one, I get 3 times k plus 9. So it makes sure that I multiply everything in the parentheses by what it's being multiplied by. So on the left, 5 times 2k is 10k. On the right, 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. On the right, I have 3 times k, and then 3 times 9 is plus 27. I'm going to subtract 3k from both sides to make it go away on this side, and I get 7k minus 15 equals 27. I add 15 to both sides because I want to get this away from the variable. I get 7k equals 27 plus 15 is 42. And because it's being multiplied, I divide, and I get k is equal to 6. So those are 4 pretty good examples for you to use to help you. For the next ones, I'm just going to set them up. I'm not going to solve them. So for the first one, I am going to put my parentheses here, and then I'm going to multiply 3 times x, I'm going to make that an x, plus 10 in parentheses equals, this is going to be 8x. So I'm not going to go any further than that because at this point I think you can handle that. For number 2, I'm going to set these up. So I'm going to do this first. So I'll do 3 times p plus 7 equals 6 times p plus 2. And then you're going to finish solving that over here. I'm going to put parentheses around that expression, and then I'm going to do 6 times w minus 2 for my setup, and then equals 3 times w, and you can finish solving. For number 4, I'm going to put parentheses around these to make sure I remember to do that. I'll do this one first. 6 times n minus 7 equals 9 times n minus 4. The last couple. I'm going to put my parentheses. Oops. And then I'll do this 2 times a minus 3 equals 3 times a plus 1. And then I am going to do the last one, put my parentheses, and do 5 times f plus 2 equals 3 times 25. So I set those up. You can finish solving them. On the back side, what I'm going to do, on the other side of the, not the back side, but the next page, for this Ed puzzle, I am going to ask you for the setup for each of these as a question in the Ed puzzle. And what that means is what we just went through. So I'll just show you on this one. When I say, what's the first step or what's the setup for this, it's going to look like this. 8 times m minus 8 equals 6 times m minus 9. That's what you're going to put as the answer in your Ed puzzle for number 7. 8 parentheses m minus 8 parentheses equals 6 parentheses m minus 9, and then that will be the answer. And I'm going to ask you that for the rest of these. So you only have to do that first step, then you will be asked to solve them, but the Ed puzzle just wants the setup for this second page of notes. And you'll see those questions in the Ed puzzle. So this is algebraic proportions.